And then you mentioned to me, which is, I love the phrase, the divorce dilemma. What exactly is that? Explain that to those who may not know what that is.
The divorce dilemma is deciding what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in a relationship or are you going to end it? And this is something that's a dilemma because it brings us into all kinds of different directions and we need to decide, make an informed decision of what's best for yourself. And that's where I titled the book The Divorce Dilemma, because I am helping people walk through that process and make that decision from their higher selves, and also with awareness so that they know what brought them to this situation, how they can relieve themselves from this situation, and how to avoid creating a similar situation in the future with other partners.
And what are some of the steps or solutions that you provide to your clients that helps them on that path to getting over that and ultimately being successful in their next relationship if that's what they want?
I think the most important thing to do is develop awareness and understand how you ended up in this situation. And by that, I mean examine those messages that we're talking about, the messages you're getting from society with respect to marriage, how you are supposed to interact with your partner, what makes a successful relationship. And once you understand where these thought patterns came from, you can decide, is this true? Is this something that serves me? And is this something that I should continue with or let go? You understand better how you are interacting with your partner. Where did you receive the instructions on how you're supposed to interact with one another? Is this something like you were mentioning about in your neighborhood, and how you didn't have the role models? How did the role models or lack of role models influence not only your choice of a partner, but how you're interacting with that partner, what expectations you have from your relationship, and then decide consciously how your relationship should be. What do you need from this relationship and how to create it? Decide if you can create it with your partner, and if it's something that is not viable, then move forward in peace, and divorce amicably, letting go of those things that do not serve you and moving on in confidence, relieved from the attachments to the relationship, and to any negative feelings that may hold you back from starting over.
Do you find, since you're about women empowerment, do you find women have a difficult time with that, with letting go of the attachment and potentially moving on? Is that a struggle for them?
I think it's a struggle for everyone, both men and women. We all have this attachment, especially when it comes to marriage, because we are trained to expect that marriage is the path to happiness. Like you said, you can't have happiness without marriage. Some people feel like they're incomplete without a partner. They're nothing without a partner. So letting go of that partner is letting go of their ticket to happiness and their completion as a human being. So you need to realize that that attachment exists, and then understand that no, I am complete as a human being. I can be happy in a relationship or out of it. And if this relationship is not the path to happiness I deserve, then I should give myself the gift of allowing myself to start over alone or potentially in another relationship in the future.
And it's interesting that we enter relationships for the most part complete, right? Let's say you and I were to enter a relationship together. I came as is, you came as is, right? And when we're in a relationship, it's a blending of your experiences, your values, your expectations, and so forth with me. But something happens where if it falls apart and we leave, we feel something is missing, even though we've already come into the relationship whole. Why do you think that is, that we feel like we're missing something that necessarily was already there before we got into the relationship?
I think we create these stories of what our marriage is supposed to be like and where what it's supposed to bring to us. And we get attached to that story or that fantasy, if you will. And I can say from personal experience that happened to me. I married the love of my life. It was not a viable relationship. And I was attached to the happily ever after I envisioned with this person. I didn't have the the idea, the notion that it was possible that I could be happy in any other ways. And by attaching myself to finding this person as the path to happiness and there's no other alternative, that keeps you in. And it's a trap that it's not unique to me. I think it's true of a lot of people, both men and women. So in my most recent book, I expand on the point that you need to consider that your happiness could lie elsewhere and that this relationship that you're going through and potentially ending was a part of your personal evolution, but that there it might be the end of the relationship may be a path to a happiness that you can't understand at this point, but will unfold itself in the future.